Okay, let's move into the defence now. There's a few more conversations to be had here, quite possibly. We'll start at right back.
Yep.
Obviously, I've put Conor Bradley down first, but I think you could flip a coin about whose shirt it is. Obviously, Bradley's just back from injury. Yep. Jamie Frimpong currently is injured, so it's impossible to know who the right back is.
We're going to throw Dom Szoboszlai into the right back debate as well? Or?
We could easily do that. I'm not going to, because I don't overcomplicate everything. And plus, we don't have the backup counter.
Yes, that's true.
I've actually got Joe Gomez down as the third choice, because then obviously gossip. But you are right, though. You're right to mention him, because he's been brilliant now, hasn't he? Let's be dead honest about it. And people are talking about keeping him there. But I'm going to keep people in their rightful positions for now. But yeah, absolutely. But yeah, I think obviously the key changes at right back is the absence of Trent. Trent left, although he will be returning to Anfield sooner than maybe anticipated or wanted. But it is Conor Bradley. We know all about Conor Bradley. There's still the elements of the unknown when it comes to Frimpong. Yeah, this is I think this is actually quite a really difficult one to sort of weigh up whether we've got better in the right back department.
Yeah, it's, as much as whatever happened around Trent, it is sort of is what it is, but you can't deny his ability. Defensively, you can question it, but in terms of on the ball and creativity and what he gives you, I think there's not a right back like that in world football, really, is there? But I mean, Conor Bradley, I really like him. The only, he's young, isn't he? So he's just, getting a few injuries here and there, which obviously is why we couldn't really throw your hat on him, because he is being out quite a bit. Frimpong, obviously very attacking. It's still early days, but he does look like he's going to be good for, especially the way we play as well.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, was it the Bournemouth game? I think he felt his hamstrings at half time. So you don't know how early in the game he's probably just felt it and sort of just held off.
Got through it, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, again, Trent's gone, can't do anything about it. So in terms of business, bringing a player in for Trent, I think he's, for the price and the age as well, I think he's looks more than adept to play for us.
I agree. I see you mentioned the age and the price there. I think they are both, again, really, really smart profile-wise in terms of transfers. One thing I would sort of put to you on this, and I do wonder whether Liverpool are very, very unlikely to go this way purely based on sympathy, if you like. But I do wonder if they are both fully fit, and they're both in form, is there a world where you have a conversation with Frimpong? Because Conor Bradley's been quite patient when it comes to wanting to be Liverpool's right. And you mentioned the injuries, obviously, but he's also had to wait behind Trent. And then Trent's gone, and for a second he might have thought, here's my chance. And then they go and spend £30 million on Frimpong. So is there something in Conor Bradley being our right back just because he's waited around? Like, because you've been in dressing rooms, you know how it works. Like, I've been in dressing rooms for a different sport, granted, and I've waited for my opportunity to be the guy. And then you felt like it was your moment, and then somebody else comes in, you're like, oh, actually, and that can put your nose out of joint a little bit. Conor Bradley's not the type, but it's definitely something worth considering.
I think it is. It's one of them, because if you're thinking I should be playing, doesn't matter sort of how patient you are. At some point, you're going to get to the point where ultimately you're a football player and you want to play your game. So there may come a point when he starts going like, unless obviously Slot spoke to them both and go, this is how it's working. Playing around 60 games a season, so you're both going to play. Maybe with Conor Bradley, due to sort of the injuries of the last 2 seasons,
an easier conversation.
It might be like, we can't like not sign anyone. Like you've not playing enough games. I mean, you can probably come back and go like, no, I'm not having that. But I think coming across the way he does, I think he's probably very aware of that, and he's probably gone, you know what, once I'm fit, but I back myself to get myself back in the team. Yeah,
it's an interesting one again. You're right about obviously the sheer amount of footy, but there's the types of football that you're playing. Like if let's say I've got 60 games, you'll quickly see the pecking order in terms of like who's playing, Man City, and who's playing, with all due respect, Burnley. You know what I mean? And straight away you'll quickly realise, you'll get a sense of who's the chosen one.
You won't be. You're not soft, are you?
No.
You know who's the starting right back and who's not. So,
and we'll get a sense, we'll get a feel for that when they're both fit, of course, which hasn't been the case yet.
It's early days, so you can't really, neither of them have sort of been fit at the same time, so you don't know yet. But I think they're both similar. I think Bradley's probably better defensively, but I've not seen enough of Frimpong to go 100% in on that statement. But they are quite similar. They're so both really dynamic, aren't they? But I think, especially as well, if you go like, it's up to you two. Like, I've got both of you in, and whoever impresses me most is my starting. So maybe that could push them on a little bit more. So I think there's a little bit of that in there as well.
And that is the ideal scenario. That is the great place to be. Absolutely agree. If it is just a case of, listen, whoever impresses, whoever's in the best form plays, then that's a really nice problem to have. That, and that's exactly how you want it to be.
I think as well, we switch our fullbacks quite a lot. So most weeks you're getting at least 30 minutes as a right back or left back these days, aren't you?
Yeah, and those might be the opportunities where you have to take. Sounds, in terms of if we're going to grade purely the right back situation, this I know this is
hard. This one, yeah.
It's not as high as the keeper.
No,
I don't think. No, it can't be yet.
It's a strange one as well, because obviously Trent's just sort of left, so it's like it's Trent as much as whatever happened.
Yeah. I think in the fullness of time, we viewed and look back upon as really good.
I think
business.
It's good business. Yeah, you got Conor Bradley there, and you've spent 34 or so million, was it?
On a really exciting
young fullback.
Right back.
Yeah, I think all signings point towards a sort of a long-term planning and sort of, integrating new players for a long period of time, sort of phasing out maybe the older players gradually.
Yeah. But right here, right now, them. Like a 6, maybe a 7.
I'll go 6. It's harsh, but...
Oh, yeah, again, the fitness has been a thing for both of them.
I've not seen enough of them.
And we haven't seen exactly.
Come back to me in a month. More,
reserve judgment for now. Reserve judgment, though we are still giving the number. Let's switch sides. Let's go over to the left back, shall we? Obviously, Milos Kerkez arrives. As mentioned, Kostas Tsimikas heads out on loan. Kerkez is obviously the big storyline here, because he's come in not to replace Kostas Tsimikas. He's come in to be the left back and to replace both of them, really, to upgrade that position. This was different at right back because we weren't trying to upgrade Trent. Trent was just going.
Yeah.
There was a clear weakness on the other side that needed addressing, and Kerkez has been the chosen one to come in and do it. Now, we touched upon off air how neither of us have been completely enamoured, but I don't think anybody has. Milos Kerkez's performance is just yet better last time out. I felt, certainly in the second half, but still. Yeah, let's talk about him to begin with then. 21, so still really, really young. I think, again, business-wise, profile-wise, future-wise, this again feels like smart bit of recruitment.
Yeah, I think with Kerkez, it's... I don't know if don't know if you're expecting a little bit more just because he's Premier League proven as well. Like, it's not...
Yeah, we absolutely were.
Yeah, because it's you're not going, he's coming from a different league. He doesn't know.
He hasn't got that grace.
Yeah, he doesn't have that great. I mean, he's still 21. He's moved from down south up, which people don't realise it kind of impacts you a bit. But I like him. He's a little bit rash at times, which is, I mean, with Semenyo, he's a beast. I think he's quality. Yeah. So I think he's tried to. See, Kerkez is a physical lad as well. I think he needs to, in that sort of scenario, he's trying to go on pure aggression and sort of using his physicality. And sometimes you need to use your head a little bit more instead of, diving in. And so I think it's just maybe that side of it. I mean, it's his debut as well, so maybe he's got a little bit.
His former club as well, but
So and then you play in Newcastle away. I think I can see what he's doing, what he's trying to do.
Can you?
In my opinion, I wouldn't have done it like myself, but I mean, who am I to say when he's playing?
No, but he's still...
usually I think sometimes because it didn't play out like that, I can see sometimes the players sort of got and he's pinning you down almost with using his leap. If you just lean, you can sort of bring them with you a little bit, and he sees the ball sort of go over his head, but that weren't the case. He's got the run, and Kerkez has got a stand and jump, so I think there you need to just go and compete.
Actually do something.
Yeah. So I can see what he's doing. Don't think it was the right decision, but So overall, I think against Arsenal, he looked a lot better. Madueke looked sharp as well in that game. So I'd say, there's the signs of improvement. Maybe it's just a little bedding in period. Yeah,
and I think that's absolutely fair enough. Whilst I say there isn't as much grace, you will always give new signings grace, regardless of where they come from and what league they've been in previously. But I think most of us expected that to be more seamless than it looks to have been. Again, for what it's worth, I've got Joe Gomez down as our third choice left back over there. You're going to be hearing a lot of that over the next few minutes. But Kerkez is going to be a good sign. I think there's no such thing is a guarantee when it comes to any transfer, more or less, but I'm pretty confident when it comes to Kirkes. Just to quickly address the Robbo situation. Now very much installed as Liverpool's understudy. Interestingly, appointed Liverpool's vice captain over the weekend. So in terms of sort of conversations, and again, to come back to the keeping players happy point, Robbo's never struck me as someone who would be happy just to become an understudy and sort of like drift off into the background, you know. So he will be determined to push Kirkes all the way, but ultimately he could just be our cup guy now, and I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I actually think maybe as well, just on the Kirkes, sometimes you see us play with a bit more of a 3 with the left back, which I think maybe affected Robbo last season, which maybe might impact Kirkes a little bit. You don't know.
Yeah.
But in terms of, I think he was a little bit harshly treated. I think sometimes when Andy Robertson made a mistake last season, you were punished. I think his performance levels would drop, but I think obviously planning again for the future, it makes sense. I think on the vice captain, that is like you're still massive for us. He's obviously a great lad around the changes. You're seeing it all behind the scenes, and he looks like a top lad, to be fair. But even in terms of like an interesting way to maybe look at it is, if he is our backup, well, those games that Van Dijk's not playing in, Robertson is then going to be the one who's playing. So you've got your vice captain like rightfully playing those games. Whereas obviously some people said maybe Salah. But when Salah's playing, Van Dijk's probably going to be playing. So what's
the point?
Yeah.
And vice versa as well. And that's senior, obviously he's a leader for his country too. And he, as you touched upon there, he is, and I was fortunate enough to be on the tour, obviously, and you get to see a lot of the training, he's everything on that training pitch.
High energy, isn't he?
And you know, from being in those environments and in changing rooms, you need them characters.
You let them do their own thing, and everyone else just sort of just watches, just let them like sort of have a laugh and get involved if you want, but he's going to be doing it regardless. And I think that's great to have, but you see in training, he's still on it.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he's still a top player, and I think I love him. I mean, who doesn't if you're a Liverpool fan? But yeah, I think he can also help Kirkes, but I think there is that little bit of, you're not performing, he's gonna come in, still do a job, isn't he?
No, absolutely is. And like I say, Robertson will absolutely be very, very, very focused on pushing Kirkes all the way, and he'll want to play in the biggest games. Come back to the point about sort of the pecking order on the right hand side. I think Robertson will want to force his way into the Man Cities and the Arsenals, the United games, because that's just his nature, just the way he is. But I think it was massive, the vice captaincy thing, and I think Arne Slot clearly recognises the importance of Andy Robertson still to this group. Sam, we'll quickly do a number on the left back thing. Again, I think we could be relatively harsh right now because Kirkes hasn't been brilliant, but I'm going to err on the side of positivity, and I think long term this will work out as like an 8.5, maybe even a 9 piece of business over the summer.
Yeah, I think I'll go long term as well, not just off. I'll go for an 8, just because I think long term planning, I think it makes sense.
That was a clip from the Coach's Corner. To check out the whole show, head to redmenplus.com or click the link in the description.